Greetings, one and all. I'm David Stoeckl. I'm reading from my book, Big Day. I got to look. Big Dave's 5-Minute Stories, and this will be the very first reading, the very first story that I'm going to go with. Excuse me. Uh, I'm part of the Swim Writers Group here in Swim, Washington, and I went ahead and wrote. We do 5-minute readings, and Heidi, who's in charge, said, "Dave, you ever consider putting your stories in a book?" And I said, "No, not really." But I went ahead and said, could be a fun little book. So I got on, the file manager, saw what I had, and I had a bunch of, had about 30 stories, I think, in all. And so I thought, well, let's go ahead and put them into a book. So we have my book came out last year, Big Dave's 5-Minute Stories. So just go ahead and do the first reading here. It's called When Was the Last Time? Part 1. When was the last time you took apart a ballpoint pen to play with the spring, rolling it back and forth on the desktop, squeezing it over and over between your fingers? Did you take the clicker cap off the end, put it in your mouth to suck the air out of it so it stuck tightly to your tongue or lips? Did you try to write with the narrow ink cartridge just 'cause? When Papermate came out with the erasable pens, did you run out and buy one so you could change your inky scribblings as easily as a pencil? When was the last time you bought penny candy? How much was your weekly allowance as a child? Do you recall when it was momentarily sound to bend over and pick up a penny? When was the last time you turned in glass pop bottles for cash? 3 cents a bottle. Went up to 10 cent excuse me, went up to 10 cents a bottle deposit just before they went to plastic. Excuse me. When was the last time you looked S&H green stamps? Did you peruse the catalog, deflated by how many books it took to buy anything cool or worthwhile? Kind of like going to Chuck E. Cheese today, isn't it? Similarly, did you scan the store catalogs just for fun? Sears or Spiegel or Montgomery Ward's? Not really shopping because you didn't have any money as a kid. Did you peruse the pages like a wish list? My brother Rick and I regularly used to sit side by side, turning the pages. On one side, he would lay dibs on one item, and I'd pick the second, he the third, me the fourth, and so on. The next page, I got to pick first. When was the last time you tried some really weird food combinations, like tacos and peanut butter, or bacon grease mixed with apple cider vinegar poured over green lettuce, or fried eggs on a hamburger, or sauerkraut and cherry pie, just for effect? When was the last time you passed a note to your friend during class or a meeting? Can you still read their lips when they silently tell you something from across the room? I was always amazed how the girls could do that. When was the last time you sat on the couch or the floor with a big acoustic guitar in your lap? Clueless how to make real music, you plucked or strummed the strings. Ever mesmerized, you loved how the strum more closely resembled an electric guitar near the end of the strings, which is by the saddle. When was the last time you compared your cursive handwriting with others in your class? Perhaps you felt awe over one girl's perfect penmanship, or you were glad you did not write like some of the more heavy-handed boys. When was the last time you built a fort inside your house with blankets stretched between the furniture? You would use shoes or books to hold the ends of the blanket on the couch or coffee table as you crawled about under the cloth roof of your fort. When was the last time you hid inside a kitchen cupboard while playing hide and seek? You had to be especially careful not to move things inside the cupboard that would give away your hiding place while the seeker was still counting. When was the last time you had to touch the record player arm because the song kept repeating over tick and over tick and over tick and over tick and over tick? You had to slowly approach with your finger or thumb lest you bumped the arm too hard, scratching the record even worse. My Uncle Ray had a loop he used to find the offending record groove and repaired it with a sewing needle. By the way, how many grooves are there on any and every phonograph album? Was it 45, big record, whatever? How many grooves are there? Two, one on each side. When was the last time you spent a quarter for a gallon of gasoline? Can you recall the cylindrical cans of motor oil stored by the gas pumps? The air hose was also right there, poking up beside the end of the pumps, always a bit oily and grimy and gritty. There was no grocery store inside. These were service stations. The attendants pumped your gas and checked your oil. They lubed your axles. There were no hood latches inside the car to release. Anyone could easily access your engine. If you did go in, they might have candy bars for sale by the register, or at least certs of breath mints with a golden drop of Retsin. Perhaps you saw a gumball machine. The soda pop machine that sold 12-ounce bottles stood outside by the entrance door. A dime a soda, plus 3 cents deposit if you took it with you. Paying with plastic required your card to be placed on a hand-powered machine that zipped back and forth, imprinting the raised letters and numbers of your credit card on the carbon-copied paper. And if you said, "Wait, this is a debit card," they would have studied your plastic card, perplexed as they asked, "What is a debit card?" Lastly, when was the last time you realized it would be your last time? As young people, most of our last times were not recognized. They happened and went away as easily as driving through a small town on a trip. Little peaks of life sometimes remind us of the silly things we did. The thoughts would pass away just as easily as they arose. When was the last time? The last time still held its permanent place in each and every heart. So that's the end of my reading of When Was the Last Time, Part 1. So the very last one of this book will be Part 2. And tomorrow I'll do a reading called Zora and Zamzoom. It's a short story, of course. I shouldn't say, of course. When I first started going to the Swim Writers group. So hope that you enjoyed this. God bless, and hope I will see you tomorrow.